What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're back in our Deck Knight project, a game built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, C++, Blueprints, the Gameplay Ability System plugin, and all of that good stuff. So today we're going to work more on the bow and arrow resource loop, basically these arrows, how we can control how much ammo the player has, what's the respawn time after you fire an arrow. Right now we have the ability to kind of draw instances of this arrow mesh within the quiver. So as we have more arrows, we can add and fill this up. But on top of that, I think we need to also be introducing some sort of, some other sort of UI that show how much ammo you have. Just because, from the intended kind of camera angle, you're not really going to see how many arrows you have, and maybe it doesn't make sense for us to be removing these and adding them dynamically with static mesh instances, but I think it's a cool little detail. But yeah, in general, we're going to need to see what we could do to make it interesting, I suppose. So, as you shoot these arrows, we eliminate them, but then now I don't have any arrows left. What do I do? How does that work? Obviously, I can keep shooting. That's not the issue, but, what's the time? What's the sort of punishment? What kind of cards can hook into this? Is there cards that basically can say, hey, you get free arrows, or your max arrow count increases by this amount for X seconds, or refills it to a certain amount, and then, go from there. So I think what I want to start with, though, is first preventing the weapon from being fired when you don't have any ammo. So we're going to try to do that. So what I want to do, it's already a attribute, and we can control that attribute. So we should be able to just gate as a condition to enter these states to say, hey, does the player have any arrows, right? And I'm curious if this would work. Let me try. So what I need to do a couple things. First, I need to actually make a task provider that gives me the value of an attribute. I should be able to do this in Blueprints, just to do it kind of quicker. So let's go to a bunch of these. So yeah, a lot of these I feel like, so there's activate ability. I think some of these, just for my own mind, I can probably get sidetracked for a second, but so we don't need this. Force inventory action, is that something I'm using? No. Grant and activate it once. No. Wait for event? No. Print health? No. So there's add tag temp, that I'm also not doing. So yeah, send stage tree event, send gameplay event to stage tree, those are being used. Send gameplay event. Input action value, no. Alright. Let's just remove all those, and let's make a new one. Should be able to do it directly in here, right? So, new task. Base one. Now, where are all these tasks? So, it's not systems, right? It's going to be shared, or is it player? There's conditions. Where are these? So yeah, it's under NPC, which isn't very great because I'm not doing everything within those things. So we do shared, stage tree. Let's move all this shit out from there. Perfect. I'll need to do the same thing for conditions. Wham bam, thank you ma'am. So, I'm hoping I could just delete these now. There might be still redirectories and stuff, so let's just clear those. Update references, yes please. I think after clearing the redirectories, it should delete itself. Yeah, there you go. The same thing for tasks. So again, yeah, this task is going to be like a helper task, data provider that's going to say, hey, provide an attribute, and it will give you the value that it's currently at. So honestly, with tasks, we more often than not want to avoid doing anything on tick. It's not necessary, it's too much overhead. So we're going to use the, I think it's called wait attribute changed ability task. So we're going to do pp, yeah, attribute value. I really need to doing something better with my naming conventions, but st task. Let's work that attribute value. Here is our blueprint. And I saw under player actually there is the state tree thing for conditions, so we're going to view into the shared conditions. And of course, clean up the redirectory and say whatever needs to be saved. Ideally, this would be renamed. Let's first rename everything. St task. So I really got to start being better about organization. Things are going to explode faster than you think. That's what she said. Let's update one more time. All good. Okay. So, yeah, attribute value, right? So we need not a new function, but we just need to inherit enter state and exit state. And some stuff in the details and class settings, I think. So blueprint display name, so get float attribute value. Guess the current value of queried attribute. Say state tree. No, that's not that. So state tree. State tree is probably assumed. So task, ability system, attributes. Go. Now some of the class defaults. So we don't want should copy bounds on tick. No. Consider for completion. No. Should copy bound properties on exit state. Yes. Can edit considered. No, we don't. We don't want it to be considered really ever. It's something that's just going to be listening in the background. It'll complete itself when needed. So what do we do now, right? So our state tree does have an ability system component, so we could just assume an ability system component could be passed in, or we should maybe assume a character pawn. So let's assume a pawn. And it needs to be, we can make it under the text category, I believe, because that is where it's at here in the state tree in the top left context section. So that should be fine. It should automatically pick it because of that. And we can just grab the name. We can just do owning on. So next, let's do weight attribute changed, and we're gonna make this a variable. So we should be able to do something like that, right? And what we should be able to do, we first have to just we keep track of this task. So we can just, so weight attribute changed task. But not only do we want to wait for it on enter, but we want to also capture what it is initially as well. So what we need to do, and we can also just do a couple of safeguards here. Oops, I want to promote that to a variable. I want to do a validated get. I don't know if there's a valid. It's valid as well. So we can just safeguard our stuff. So hey, is the player valid? Is the attribute valid that we're looking for? If so, cool. Otherwise, we could just, finish task and say it failed. So now, what we can do, we can grab this new value, we can promote it to a variable. We're going to say, attribute float value. We want it as output. I don't remember the category has to be output or out. So we can quickly just add it because it's going to be a global task in this state tree. So attribute, so task, ability system attributes, get float attribute, right? So output, out, boom, right there. Everything gets bound immediately. So that looks like it makes sense. So what we could do now is we get the pawn, we get the ability system component at this point, I think, or maybe we can get float attribute. Yeah, we can get float attribute directly from the actor. So let's do that. And we're going to use that same attribute and we're going to put it as float attribute here. So as soon as we enter the state, we capture what it is currently, just so we have a non-zero value. Then we listen with this task. It should be able to update. Tasks can work asynchronously, so whenever a state or a condition or whatever the case might be queries the value, it should be the most up-to-date value. This gets connected to changed. We could do an only trigger once flag. I don't think it's necessary. I don't know why you would ever want it to just trigger once. So we're not going to do that. So with all that set up, on exit, we could do a safety thing here. Let's do it one more time. Grab it. Make sure it's the most up-to-date value. Also just same safety checks so we don't get any sort of errors. I don't think we need to finish the task because the task we're on exit anyway. Do that. And then last but not least, we want to clean up the task itself, right? So again, is validated yet? Because it could maybe not be valid. Let's just ban this spammer to the shadow realm. There we go. So if it is valid, we just end the action. I believe that's the call. So this seems, at first glance, a valid implementation. So we want to make the attribute public. And because these things are context and output, they should already kind of be exposed in that sense. So ideally, what we can do is now provide the attribute here. So we should be able to say, hey, let's track current bow arrow count. And then this is what I was trying to consider earlier. If I make a parent state, so bow actions, just dump all of them within this. Whoops. Maybe it's not necessary because they can transition from within themselves. So maybe it makes sense not to do that. So essentially, I can make it as an enter condition. We could do a compare with the float. And we could just check to see, hey, is our output, our attribute value, float? So we should be able to bind to that. So global get float attribute value. Is it greater than 0? If so, you should be good. So we can copy that. It's part of all of these things here. So compare, float, go paste. So in theory, hopefully, we should be able to now, when we're out of arrows, we shouldn't be able to activate any of these abilities. So we could try. So obviously I have arrows, I'm able to fire. All seems fine. Let's see now. Yes. You can't really tell, but I am pressing Y to fire and it's not working. I'm holding and it's not working. So first time success on that. That's always a good feeling. It's good to talk it out as well. But there's the cases where and I wonder if it's part of any sort of asset pack, but like I wonder if we can have like a some sort of indication that you're reaching for it, but it fails. And we can throw up some warning on screen and just have a clear state that the tree would transition to kind of give you that information. I don't know if I downloaded it. I know it was at one point in my cart or maybe my wish list. Yeah, there's this Archer. And there's a bunch of stuff that I want to download for that. So I'm going to just buy this now. Move stuff over to a different monitor, just in case any of you cheeky fucks try to do anything. Place order, step. We'll see if that goes through. Fingers crossed. Cool, seems fine. So we should be able to add it to our project, but yeah, this is actually the first time it works on the first try. Sometimes I have to reopen Unreal to do it, but it seems fine. But let me check the other. There's a lot of demo maps with this asset packs. So there's Ghost Samurai Bow. I don't think there's one that's like succinctly what I need, like a failure kind of thing, because there's like attack and crouch walking and common walking and running and dying, dodging hits. But I don't think there's any like no ammo. A lot of cool A lot of cool stuff though that I want to reuse for like special ability cards and stuff. Primarily the ones in the front, you know, like this bam, bam, bam. This one, super cool looking. But now we should have this new one, the archery. The archer demo. Let's open this bad boy up and check it out. Let's see if there's an animation that I'm thinking of present here. First time opening the map too, so it's gonna take a New York minute. Oh God, where did I go? Oh, here we go. So we have idols and turns. We're eventually got to update all this stuff as well. There's running, there's fast combat runs, execution, there's parries for some reason, combo attacks. Seems interesting. Dodge attacks, knockdowns and blocks, which I don't know if I would ever really need a block. Down, get up, rolling, hit large. Parries. Could be interesting to bring in like a dash attack and stuff down the line, but yeah, I don't know, that questionable movement. Yeah, ultimate attack. We'll reuse that one. There's aim offsets, idols. I don't know if there's anything that makes sense. Maybe they could do like a block pose or something just to indicate that you're not going to use it. I feel like that's like the closest option. So we can at least bring it in. Block, start, loop, I suppose. So blah, blah, blah. Should be able to retarget these, so I think there's gonna be a lot. So go end, loop, and start. Okay, retarget. Be valid. Export, so we'll do task force, game, character animation, range, the bow. Bam. Okay. So we're gonna do AS, bow, block, start, rename them just to include bow into this. So AS bow block loop. Rename something incorrectly. This is end. Okay. Now let's have our player ability system, abilities, test examples, arranged, bow. We could do maybe maybe I'll just make it its own ability and stuff, but I'll just duplicate this one. So VA ranged bow, no ammo. Go, and now folder animations, make a montage. Oh, that's a footprint. Animation montage. I guess it'll just be easier just to do it from, excuse me, the start. So create montage. Here. Now we should be able to toss the rest in here because this is block start, so we should be able to throw it in the loop. And this should probably just last a second, right? So maybe even half a second. Some indication of what's happening, right? And it should be upper body. So we'll be able to move still. So we're gonna do bow. No ammo. Block pose. Like that. And now, more or less, we should be able, I would most likely need it to be within its own chooser, but again, I'm not going to worry about that too much just yet. So, let's make a new child state. Ammo. Conditions we need. We need to do a very similar compare, just the opposite way. We want to say, hey, is it less than or equal? But should never be less than 0, just to be clear. But we could just use that kind of conditional to catch any weird cases. So less than or equal. And task, ability, current ability dynamic. Let's grab no ammo. Awesome. So now we can go into no ammo. We can grab this animation. Won't need to really wait for any events or anything like that, so maybe it won't be necessary. We'll have to eventually also get some hooks into the UI, so we can maybe say some like no ammo, or if we have some other kind of ammo indicating UI. We can call into that to say, hey, flash of value or something. So let's see if this works as I have hoped. So again, we're also going to have to handle some transitions because who knows, we might need, you might be able to get all the ammo back while this is happening, and then. So we're going to fire the ammo 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and then, yeah, so it doesn't transition. So that's fine. It's okay. So we need a transition event, I believe. So it should be 1-to-1 to these, except with the added condition of the compare we have. So compare float. We can copy that, I think. That. And then we could do the same thing again. And we say the same condition. That. I believe now that should work. Are you using state tree? Yes, I am. We're using state tree to handle the weapon-specific logic. Just so as you get different types of weapons, we can override and pop in a new state tree and just have the combo flow work within that state tree. But general abilities like rolls and stuff like that are not in state tree. But things that the combo needs to be able to do and flow into each other, it's done within the state tree. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm still didn't work, but hey, we can at least try to debug it now. So let's see. Hey, thanks for the follow there. I code for food. What's your favorite food to get as a reward for coding? So it seems like it fails. So I think it, but because so it may sound dumb or not, I don't know, but I want to ask, why haven't you used behavior tree instead? I guess my first question is behavior trees compatible with player? My assumption was that it would need like some sort of AI controller, but maybe it would accept any kind of controller. But second of all, state tree, it's the latest tech from Unreal. So I want to be using it. And I have worked with it in the past. I know that it works. I'm more familiar with state tree than I am behavior tree. So it might be just more of a comfortable choice. All you can eat sushi. Ooh. That seems like the most likely to give you like diarrhea. Possibly the transition conditions need to also be applied to here as well, because the condition passes and attempts and it fails, and so we don't even get to the bottom ones. We want to do greater than. So let's grab that. That, then there's that. I personally would code for like Mexican food, but I might just have diarrhea all the time as a result. So now let's zoom into our guy. Let's take a look. So we're able to shoot the bow. Man, still doesn't do what I'm hoping it's trying to do. Which is weird. Those are all of our events here. So where does it go? So oh, I'm dumb. So these events need to go down to no ammo. They were trying to re-enter the events to the states that they were set up originally, and so these states fail because those conditions, enter conditions fail. So I think we got it this time. So 1, 2, 3, and then fuck. So close to salvation, you know. Let's see. That's kind of funny looking. So we also need to get the, should be like is it inventory or player weapon? Yeah, get player weapons component. Activate secondary weapon to hand. I also need to debug why it wasn't working until I had to switch weapons here. Let's see. So we enter, we enter, we enter. Okay, so we also get stuck. We also don't have the right tag, it seems, right? We do, but the locomotion doesn't seem like it updates correctly. We also have both weapons at that point, so a lot of stuff we still got fixed for the inventory component. So I see the problem. We also just need to have a transition here. Grab that same condition. And this one. Yeah. Hope that'll work. Of course, as always. There you go. So instead of going to, if we don't have any ammo, I feel like on complete, we should go to unequip, but there should be also with that compare, I think. So hey, if we don't have any ammo left, just go back there. Otherwise, go back to idle. Should be okay. So we have the daggers, and we start shooting the bow. So basically, we're not correctly removing when we're where's the weapon? So yeah, see a weapon. Basically, when we're deactivating the weapon, it doesn't seem like we're going to. So save, remove tags. I don't think this works. So let me just say has any. Be certain. Still doesn't remove correctly, so. Okay. So to me, I feel like it's not safe to do it this way. Like, let me just see if removing it without doing this check first is any better. Maybe this safe remove tags is not really doing it the way I need it to be doing it. So bishop bow. Now when we bring it back, that daggers, right? Okay. So inventory action. I'm gonna put action, secondary, and where else am I calling this? I feel like I just boot go right there, and then okay, so it is here. So what in God's what in God's name am I doing wrong? Let's just breakpoint it, I suppose. When in doubt. Here. Cool. Here. Here. Cool. Here. Cool. Here. Cool. Here. Cool. Here. Cool. Okay, so does something funky happen here? Oh, maybe because I'm not ending the ability fast enough? It's on blend out and completed. Something tells me something might be happening with the faction. Let me just be super sure. So we do get here. Activate primary weapon to hand. Oh, why? That definitely felt something funky happening. So I feel like by adding and removing loose gameplay tags is not the best move here. I mean, we also have this, right? So string, let's just see. And then we'll have to see what's the reason why it would fail. So, true. Oh. Something is not making sense. Thanks for the follow there on YouTube, Arsenal Nusantara. Much appreciated. Maybe. Maybe I have more than one. Which would make sense in this case, but let's just be super string. Zero is fine. 1. Alright. Six. So, I think I know what's happening. I think every time I'm shooting this thing, I activate it in the hands. I don't need to do, right? So, activate secondary weapon in hand. Like, maybe there should be also like an internal checking at the weapon to see if it's active. Might be helpful. Now. Let's do this. That fixed it, basically gating this correctly. Maybe not the best still, but our weapons component probably need to do something similar for the primary weapon. So like activate primary weapon. Not. And, you know, instead of doing like add loose gameplay tag, I could use like a gameplay effect for making sure I can track like the tag stacking and everything like that. But it's whatever. 1, 2, 3. No arrow. Maybe I should do like an equipping. But yeah, that's also not good. Just drinking a tea. We'll have to see how we can improve that. I need to use the bathroom, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes here. Don't know if it's the BRB or the intermission. There you go. Enjoy. Your boy is back. It was a good poop. So, what do I want to do? So, I know when you run out of ammo, you get put into this state. Yeah, there is a way for me to somehow get the daggers in there. So I have to. I feel like I have to do a better job of like gating against that. But also, I would want to make sure that what do I gotta make sure of? So we have the no ammo, but yeah, I might need to also introduce like an equip part. It should be like an equip. A bow unequip. Oh, idle. There's bow special. And so a lot of it seems like it's kind of built into these things, but I feel like there should be one. So I think there's samurai in the name, right? Go samurai. Bow. So there's this. So let's retarget that. Grab it. We also have a lot of these races happening. Let's get rid of them. Order standalone. Put this in task team. What's the word? Character animation ranged bow. Good. There we go. I should be able to bring this in here. I'll bring that in first. That so. Do I need brute motion in this shit? I feel like he's being displaced quite a bit. Oh. I don't know if that's gonna look better or not, but we'll go like this. It's quite a snap. Let's just see what that looks like in practice. It's not gonna look good, I'd imagine, but Not great. Assuming if we can blend, it'll be okay. And I guess it's because it's from 2 animation sets as well. So let's remove you. Let's create a new montage. So bow, equip. It'll stay upper body as well. We should be able to get the blend that we need. So let me see. Bow, equip. Nope. There. So, alright. And maybe it can be a little faster. Blending, I'm assuming we'll be fine, but we can always do inertialization to blend out. Oh god. Let's get rid of some of the stuff that we don't need. There's this stuff. Basic attack. Component. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah. We might need another task to see if something is active or not. Yep. Also overthinking it? I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of funny looking. I wonder if we could do a different blend. Or a blend mask. I'm gonna be going over the top on it or not, but we're not getting as far as we should be, but like, to me that feels like way too much kind of movement. Maybe it's bothering me. I don't know. Let's, since it's a fun Sunday, let's just try some stuff out. Why not? AVP. Titles, but no. Go to our anim graph. Now, I think maybe it has to go here. Whoops. Can I do a new slot name? Where I create these, maybe here. So new slot. Honestly, I don't remember where to add a new slot name. So push it in a slot manager. I guess I'm just missing that window. Slot manager. Here we go. Add new slot. Maybe add a group so I can call it like bow. Add slot. We could say upper body bow. Might be interesting. So let's copy you, but we'll do bow, upper body bow. Now it should be able to, instead of being branch filter, I should be able to do a blend mask, right? And I should be able to create a new blend mask. Well, I should be able to hopefully do something to the tune of this. And then if I open up, so I think it's failing, yeah, it needs to be a blend mask. So I think I can go into here, blend profiles, add new blend mask, call this upper body bow blend mask. Now we should be able to just kind of modify a lot of this stuff, right? So we could say, no, it's like 100% clavicle. I don't know if this is the right one, but let's just do this one. Let's see what happens. We should see at least something, right? Nothing, really. Just fine. Let's see if something is played. Oh, it's pretty funny. Something's happening, you know? Yeah, not. How would you imagine? What are the other ones here? I think that would work, right? Yeah. Open and close. Close and open again. Like something's moving, but not what I would expect. Is it in the wrong order? Let's just be sure. Yeah, no. Check again. Bam, bam. Okay. Excuse me? Why is it playing everything now? That's... But okay. Wonder, does it show the blend mask when I'm playing an animation? That'll be pretty interesting to see. don't know if that's going to do what I'm hoping it'll do. And I don't know what I need to do in order to see it correctly. File. That seems like it does work. So what happens if I say, so maybe I have to compile the animation blueprint? Maybe 0.2, 0.5, capital L, maybe just 0.1 or something. R1 and then neck would be 0.5 or something. This is 0. Wonder if this will look good. What I don't like is that you kind of they're shooting in the dark, and maybe, I don't know if there's a way to really effectively preview. We can look that up next. Doesn't seem like it goes up as much as I was thinking it would. Let's look it up. UE5, how to preview how blend mask works for an animation. To review how blend. So creating inside a blend mask, open your sculpt mesh. Visualize the message. So it should be able to see it. Oh, what do I have to do? Under the mask column. Debug. Oh. 1.5. So this. Seems like nothing changed. Here system Y. Do I have to do the full spine too? Or maybe spine 1 as well. Let's just see with the whole spine chain in. Doesn't really behave like I think it would. Let's just put pelvis in as well. Oop. Doesn't look like it's updating correctly now. I really don't know what the difference is. Hey-yo! Yeah, this is just pumping. That's kind of funny. include root as well. Save everything. Mask and profiles. I should be able to preview it in this editor, right? Let me. So let's grab the block start for an example. That's what Blood Mask would look like, from what I'm gathering. So let's see if it updates in real time. Can I firstly set everything to 1? Okay. Graphical art 0. Okay. So I have to make the things I want 0. Or closer to 0. Oh, wacky ass shit, so put everything 0. I'm definitely not getting the performance I'm assuming I would be getting. Right? Like, what is being like animated here, I guess, is the question, right? Or is the problem? Oh, because I'm not recursively doing it. Okay. The particle L was recursive setting. Fine, 1. 1. L is fine. Next. We'll see. There you go. So I'm also probably thinking about this the wrong way, where blend weight 0, so it's like the opposite way, I guess. So that's to be 0.3. Maybe that looks okay. Let's see. Not getting what I was hoping. So do I have to do now the opposite way? Where this is base pose? Oh. Probably bring in the right clavicle as well. Okay, so the stuff that I'm confusing myself with is this. So this cannon should be this, and the blend weight 0 should be 0. And I just need to do the opposite now in the blend mask. So the things that I want should be 0. No, things that I want should be 1 or closer to 1. So let me recursively set everything to 0, and then I want to say, pelvis. We could say 0.5, spine 0.5, 5.5, clavicle L will be 1, clavicle R will be 0.8, and let me make sure these are both first setting on. The rest will be 0 down here. The neck can be 0.8, and this could be 1. And I hope that's what I get. No. I don't like that shift that's happening. I think that's happening all in the pelvis. Well, let's not do anything there. Pelvis could be 0. So I didn't like how that looked. But yeah. Something definitely breaks because I'm not equipping the secondary weapon. So I feel the right arm we can do 0.5, but then 0.8, and then could be pretty strong, right? Else for the right hand, everything to the left is there. All should be good. But yeah, now the unequip is broken. This is also kind of shot. Yeah, to me, I could be stupid, but let me just see what this looks like. With everything kind of recursively 0, we'll make a little bit of spine, a bunch left arm, neck, just a little bit, head, a little bit. And to me, it has to be a little bit more, or a little bit less. Well, that's fine. Not even any other head. What if I do no spine? Don't get some weird motion. I think it's because it's different than the idle pose, so I'll need to probably grab the right idle pose just to... I don't like how much is coming out of it still. Like, if I literally just make this also recursively 0, what happens? Like, nothing should play, I guess? Which is correct. So, let's make this 0.8. One, two. So still nothing's happening. Seems like it's a requirement that you have to compile the animation blueprint, which is weird, but okay. Yeah, so I do this. Yeah. So I should be able to just make that one. It should be a little bit of the right, a little bit of the bottom spine. Pile. Let's look. Go on, 2. That looks good. And there's no like weird movement. So boom. So whoop, whoop. Maybe there could be more influence. Long spines. I just wonder how much it will take for her, not her, but the character to... I think that looks fine. So wham. Now when you're moving... Yeah. I think that looks a lot better. So we have that, you know, so this is basically our indication that, hey, you know, we're out of ammo. Honestly, we'll need a proper running loop. And then we'll also need to fix this bug with... That looks funny though. The unequip. But it seems like the other... So anything that's playing upper body is getting screwed up. So does this have to happen first? see what broke, what didn't. Yeah, that works, but now this is broken. Which I'm not sure why. Let me just check if doing it this way does anything different. Is the tippy toes? I think it's because things are working opposite. I wonder what is the proper order of operations with these things. This goes first, or I should say, if this goes first, then the other upper body stuff breaks. I have to say, like, this is the base pose, and then this is the blend pose. But let's find out. Okay. Sort of. So I feel like the problem is blend weight is being a problem. Let me see if I make that 0. Not sure. Because I feel like as soon as this plays, we don't really maybe clear the blend mask. So last post that contains a hot curve, override it. I just use base pose for an option. Like, it's close. It's just not, it doesn't feel like it's resetting anything. Normalized by weight. Upper body does all that, right? Maybe this one needs to be do not override. feel like both arms are fucked up. Or do I have to do... I doubt it's the other way around, though, but let me see. Can I do first you? You? This? I doubt it. Let's see. That seems to have worked. That's cool. But now I have to prevent that from happening, I guess. So I think maybe I can't. So when the player's about to unequip, I shouldn't be able to do that. But let's put this miracle together. So. What's the word? I guess I shouldn't really have a transition from here. Maybe the transition needs to happen under the weight instead. And then during the equip, I just can't do anything. Maybe that's fair. So let's see. So here, I can do it. But as soon as I... So, he does like a thing. But I assume... Like... any additional things should be checking, hey, is the weapon active? No. Like, I think there just needs to be maybe a potential differentiation for when the weapon is active, quote unquote, and the weapons are in the hand. So I feel like there's the disconnect there that might be causing some problems. But that just might need to be part of the refactor as well. Because I'm slowly quote-unquote refactoring, but slowly just converting the blueprint logic of the weapons into C++, so I have some internal functions, and I will need to start making things in code and kind of slowly migrate things into the blueprint and then slowly migrate things back into the C++ situation. But to me, what I think I should do is, again, I think the weapon should be controlling this as well. So let's go into the C++ class. Let's make a new. It can be private, I suppose, but we'll have getters and setters and stuff. Cool. B is weapon active. False. Function. Blueprint. Callable. Category. Should be good. Same thing, but for setting. Great. Let's compile that. Now I'll need to look up some references on some like bow and arrow mechanic at UI. One thing at a time. Well, let's go into the base weapon. Base, and then there's also a weapon component. So there's all this stuff here. It's in weapon base, and that's under task. Make that a very important thing, but that's fine. Maybe I can make this protected. Time. What game are you making? I'm trying to make a game that combines real-time action with deck building mechanics. So basically, you have your character, and you can choose a primary and secondary weapon, and based on those weapons, you will have like a certain array of cards that you can unlock throughout the run. And so the goal is to basically make it through as far as you can. Obviously, it's a roguelite in that sense, like every other game these days. But I want the higher level story to be like a Yu-Gi-Oh type of game where, or story where, you know, you're going from like game shop to game shop, and then, you know, you're playing tournaments against other people with this overall card game that's being played when you're doing the mix. And so each enemy you're fighting, each higher level enemy, is some AI that's controlling a mob of enemies. So, like, if you think about it in the sense of like Hades or Hades 2, you have each room with a set of enemies. So when you enter a room here, quote unquote room, you know, you get like a certain objective of like survive or capture these things, and then the overall enemies that you get are themed around the main enemy that you're fighting. So the guy might be using a lot more poison types, and he'll be able to play cards as well to kind of counteract your card play and try to slow you down or deal damage to you, make his mobs more powerful. So like as an example, like, you know, on screen we have these cards and stuff. You can select these cards and you can activate the card and you can turn into a fireball. Obviously on first load things break, but so sounds cool. Are you planning on doing the modeling and animating yourself? So I plan currently just to get as much content from Fab as possible. So all the weapons and animations and any of the visuals and stuff like that will come from Fab, but I will make tweaks and adjustments and use them or repurpose them for other things. So basically, I'm mainly focused on the gameplay and the general coding and design architecture of the whole thing. So, you know, I'm reusing a lot of the attacks and stuff. So like daggers will have a certain kind of game loop that you can use it for, and then bow would have its own, and then you have like a sword and shield, and you can have like a great sword, and then possibly like a spear or something, just to give variety of the weapon types. And, you know, during each run, I would say you can pick just like a primary and secondary. So another secondary could be like a staff, like a magic staff or something, to kind of change up the gameplay. And then I got to think about all the different types of cards that you can get. And so, you know, from each run, each time you go through, you can get new cards, you can unlock new cards, you can sell cards, trade cards, you can quote unquote buy packs. And so you can use like in-game currency that you earn through each run to buy packs of cards, and you can chase cards like in real life Pokemon TCG. So you can find like SIRs or illustration rares, and there's cooler versions of these cards that do more powerful things at certain costs, and you kind of just try to build the deck better and better and build your character better and better for each run until, you know, you beat the game. At least that's the idea, but it's a lot, so, you know, making slow progress. But we have a card system in place, and we have some weapons in place. We need to start like kind of tying things together more, and then we got to start working on like enemies and stuff, because right now we have like these dummy enemies you can spawn and kind of beat down if you wanted to. But obviously, like, no special damage types yet. There's burn damage, but, you know, the dagger doesn't do anything special just yet, where I would want it to. But yeah, and balancing and all that stuff. But we're getting there. So, I have a video on my YouTube channel that talks about this a little bit more in more depth. If you're so inclined to watch it. But yeah, what am I doing? I was doing, yeah, so I incorporated a new flag. The variables show inherited variables. Gas force weapon, this weapon active. So now, instead of having primary and secondary and stuff like that, I should maybe, obviously there's primary and secondary, but in the context of this, like, I should be able to maybe make something active without first putting it into the hand or something like that. Well, let's go with the list of stuff. So set primary active weapon, right? So we don't really want to do that here, but we might want to do that here. Or you could do primary weapon That weapon active. That. And then activate primary weapon to hand. So we could say get, and then is active. Not. Same thing here. And I should be able to just do, activate weapon in hand. We can just then say get weapon active. Maybe we don't even have to do that in the top here. Seems unnecessary, potentially. Now the weapon itself will maintain itself, so... It should be like deactivate. Hopefully we don't see a regression from that change. Oh, God. Got a kitty. Oh. Hey, Dubu. So yeah, we should still have the same bug though. If I do this and then I time it well enough, yeah, we get the little thing here. I think we're at a decent spot. We'll have to continue this week, either Tuesday or on Thursday. Just to end this off, let's go to the dagger combo. And we just off stream, of course, I was working on updating the the weapon trails so that they could be functional for the new weapon system. So we already have it working for the first attack of the combo here, but we don't have it for the rest. So we can add it. So weapon VFX trail 1. And yeah, for this one, we probably, having it in 2 places I think would be cool. So we can just add it. So yeah, this one is which hand? So this one is the left hand. Weapon index 1. So right hand is weapon index 0. So let's see what the right hand is doing. So the right hand is first. So somewhere around here makes sense. So I think having it kind of do the swing through as well would be interesting. So like that. Maybe that would be the case for this one too, right? So it swings through. Dab on the haters, right? And then this is the left hand. So somewhere around here. That looks fine. Oops. We'll do the base combo. Both. So we do a spin. So maybe it'll be cool if they just kind of both spin. Him. That. We'll see how that looks in practice. And last, but certainly not least, the end of the combo. So we do I don't know if it should just be at the very end or not. I actually need to label these tracks for consistency purposes. So, rotation, warp. No. Translation. Time warping. Forces, attack mode window. Blend out. Input buffering. Don't need a combo reset marker because it's the last of the combo. Notify VFX. That. Should just be able to copy those. Paste. So let's look. I don't know if it makes sense for them to be making weapon trails the whole way, except for maybe around like starting there. Somewhere around there. So let's see if that works. We first go into wireframe and we could just check to see if the weapon trails the VFX is showing. In slow motion, got that, like that. Seem like they're there. They are pretty subtle. Should be able to see them. They add a little bit to it. I don't know if I would ever want them to be blurry or anything like that. I think they serve their purpose. I'm not sure if they need to change color either. Like, potentially when you are able to, like, apply status effects and stuff like that, there should be some, like, trail on it. So, like, if your daggers are on fire and they can deal a proc burn or something, the trail should be orange, you know what I mean? So I need to eventually be able to hook into the trails as a system and say, hey, you know, make this one red or orange, whatever the case might be. Oh, not at full speed or anything, but it works. It looks good, I think. So yeah, this coming week, we need to do the fixes for when we're out of ammo. I feel like the head needs to do more, honestly. I'm nitpicking for now, but so yeah, we need to fix that issue there with the dagger, where if you're out of ammo here, go. Did that fix itself? Oh. So I feel like this no ammo should be treated the same as the inventory action, right? So no. Let's see. Quick. Is it the action? That's the bug. But banger. Down. Basically, I would need to make sure that when this is happening, we block some actions, I think. But again, something for us to figure out next time. I don't know if this is too noisy, you know what I mean? Like, should there be so much knockback for the daggers, for example? Is there too much shaking on the screen? Should these UI elements shake? Maybe not for these attacks. Like, does it generate too much noise? I think also part of the issue is like the numbers are also shaking, so they might become a little bit more unreadable. Maybe we need to rethink about that. I'm not sure what you guys think on that. Yeah, to me, I think that's a problem. I don't really want them shaking. I think they last too long as well. I don't think I have anything that controls that value, is there? I know I have a damage numbers. I haven't looked at damage numbers in a bit. Damage number. Let's make them twice as fast, and we'll just see what it looks like. Nope. I put under loops to play. Oh, and I gotta go the opposite way. Yeah, I think the issue is just, yeah, they're following the XY. I think it's in the damage number panel. Made a tick. I think it's on the dummy where the hits are happening too. This is the relative location of the mesh that I'm moving. So let me see. Get number, damage number, roll position. Is it because of here that it's noisy? Let's look at the tick again. Data tick. We go through, boom, boom, boom. And then we do get damage position on screen. We are using the sort location here. Let me just confirm if I get rid of this shake. Is the damage number still noisy? Feels noisy. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting sidetracked again. I just want to see what happens. This. I do need to set this, so. So what am I getting as world location? So I'm getting basically where it spawned, right? So hoping I can just say as a effector. I just want to see what this looks like. See if it becomes less noisy. We got a cute kitty in the house. Because I just don't like how much it's moving and shaking the damage number at this point. Or it could be the whole screen shaking. I think that could also be it. Yeah, it's the whole screen shaking. I'm stupid. Okay. So I need to be able to like have things kind of be ignored from this thing. So main HUD, right? Well, let me just confirm. Oh yeah, much smoother. So let me recompile that. That's how, so we'll do that this week as well. See if I can kind of encapsulate what should be shaken from like these hits, and then the scale also needs to be updated. I think for Dagger, for example. Or maybe the UI shake is just not necessary, but I think it should be an easy fix. Let me just double check. I'm not gonna fix it now because we're already over time. Let's just look at everything. Connecting again. Yeah. A lot better. Yeah. And our main HUD. We have everything under main. And the animation is done shake from main. So I basically have to exclude damage number panel. I could maybe already do that. I'm not sure. Can I? Maybe not. We'll figure it out later. So that's what I'm going to call it. Thank you so much for watching. It's always super appreciated. Thanks for those who followed today, both on Twitch and YouTube. It's all super and very much appreciated. If you aren't already following me, though, make sure to follow here on Twitch, but also on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. We're almost at 100K. Join our Discord if you're so inclined. We try to add more and more people as we go on. You know, it's not super bussin' Discord, but if you have any questions, you want to share anything, you have anything you want to talk about, you know, it's an open forum to do so. Just try to be chill about it. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you soon.